Hamlin, close at times, but ultimately come home second. What more did you need there for Larson?
Yeah, just needed a little more speed. Needed to be a little bit more versatile. I thought that the 5 was able to navigate traffic slightly better than what I was, and that was a big benefit. And certainly, I felt like an open racetrack I could run with him, and was able to catch him there on the second long stint. But I couldn't navigate the traffic quite as good as he could.
Tire situation, are you surprised by the lack of fall off today? Or?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously a temperature thing, right? It's it's a riddle that's it's really hard to figure out, but it certainly, it's just a 24-hour period. It changes. It certainly seems like it's a track temperature issue.
Is this the best? What is the best version of Bristol? What we saw a year ago in the spring race, or what we've seen in the last 2 races here? We have one driver, one team kind of curb stomp the field.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it kind of depends on who you root for, truthfully. But you got to give teams their due when they dominate, right? I just don't think we shouldn't throw mud on the racing or whatever because someone goes out there and dominates. I mean, I at least kept them honest for a little while there, and so they were superior here in the fall, and they were superior again today. Sometimes you'll have that, and someone will hit it. That's what will happen when you have a really good team and a really good driver.
I like where you said last week that you divided the race up into parts, and you set new goals for yourself. It was pretty fascinating. How do you divide a race like this up? What are you thinking behind the wheel?
Well, once I got to second with 200 to go or so, Kyle really kind of stretched it out on me the first 50, 60 laps of that run, and then we ran back to him heavy at the end of that before that green flag cycle. And at that point, I thought with 200 to go that Kyle had the best car. I was kind of next in line, and I was going to need him to stub his toe to win the race. And so I tried not to make many mistakes. I just kept running my race. And, with 100 to go, and after I ran him down, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I got something for him here, and just gave it all I got. Just wasn't enough.
You had a long meeting afterwards, just a team meeting kind of debrief, right? You take away what from this race pretty strong.
Yeah.
Get out of here this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Really strong race, really strong month for the 11 car, and doing a lot of things right. But sometimes you run into a really fast car and a really fast driver, and you finish second to that.
Is this what Bristol should be, though, in terms of, like, it didn't look like guys could pass much?
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, the pace, everyone's running so similar of speed, and, it's going to be a kind of a repeat of what we've said over the last few weeks is the field has just migrated closer and closer together. Lap traffic essentially is kind of the equalizer in all of it. I don't see Goodyear ever having enough nerve to soften the tire. I think if it's over 70 degrees, absolutely. You could come with something more aggressive and something that is faster than slower. Then maybe you get some more comers and goers. But yeah, it's just a tough balance for them to have right now.
Ty and Chase finding their stride now this season. Just what has impressed you about them in the shop, and just them staying mentally in despite their rough starts this season?
Well, they're with a good team. They're going to have opportunities to run well. Obviously, the 11 teams run really well, and they've taken notice of that, and they've implemented some things probably that has helped them. But yeah, this is we're 9 races in. You probably now can start to see the haves and the have-nots, and who's going to contend for this thing in the long run. And now we get to reset, and everyone needs that at some point. So I think it's comes for a good time for those two teams that struggled early in the year.
Denny, you talked last week about the 24 leading so many laps and saying, hey, it's track position, and you put somebody else up there. Today, is it the same thing if you put somebody else up there other than the 5? We see the same thing, or was today different in any way?
Well, I think the 5 was the best. I think car and driver was the best today, and so I mean that was all I had there to run them down and stay close to them. And so if you put somebody else up front, I think that us and the 5 go around them. I just think that it was a thing where he qualified well, set the tone early with the pace, and never looked back. And so that's just what we got.
Denny, can you
So you just
talk
pat
about
them
the
on the
couple of
back?
restarts where
Yeah, that's what you got to give them their flowers for performing great and not making any mistakes and all those things. It's just they're on their game, and when they hit it, they're hard to beat.
Safe travels.